Hare Krishna to all of you. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadramai Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Gurudev ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. I am sharing the screen for Srila Prabhupada Lamrita. Yeah, I am starting now. Is it visible to all?
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you. I can read one or two para, then you can go ahead who would like to read. Sorry. That chapter 11 and that title is The Dream Come True. His walk through the tight, crowded lanes of Chippewa soon led him to a road close to the Juma Mosque. And that road led into the noisy, heavily trafficked Chauri Bazaar. The neighborhood was a busy paper district where laborers with ropes strapped across their shoulders pulled stout wooden carts heavily loaded with stacks of paper on small iron wheels. For 2 blocks, paper dealers were the only business, says Hariram Gupta and Company, Rupchand and Sons, Bengal Paper Mill Company Limited, Universal Traders, Janta Paper Mart, one after another, even down the side alleys. The neighborhood storefronts were colorful and disorderly. Pedestrian traffic was so hectic that for a person to daily event for a moment would cause a disruption. Carts and rickshaws carried paper and other goods back and forth through the streets. Sometimes a laborer would jog past with a hefty stack of pages on his head, the stake waiting down on either end. Traffic was swift, and unmindful or slow-footed pedestrian risked being struck by a load protruding from the head of a bearer or from a passing cart. Occasionally, a man would be squatting on the roadside, smashing chunks of coal into small pieces to sell. Tiny corner smoke shops drew small gatherings of customers for cigarettes or pan. The shopkeeper would rapidly spread the pan spices on a bitter leaf, and the customer would walk off down the street chewing the pan and spitting out red-stained saliva. And any other can continue to read another para, please.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu, go ahead.
Amidst this milieu at Hari Bazaar, commercial history blended into tenement life, and children are played in the hazardous streets. Bhaktivedanta Swami was a gentle-looking yet determined figure. As he walked past the tenements, the tile seller, the grain seller, the sweet shop, and the printer, overhead would be electric wires, pigeons, and the cloth lines from the tenements' balconies. Finally, he would come to OK Press, directly across the small mosque. He would come carrying the corrected proofs to anxiously oversee the printing work. After 4 months, when the whole book has been printed and the sheets were stacked on the floor, Mr. Sharan Sharma arranged for the work to be moved to a bindery. The binding was done by an ancient operation, mostly by hand, and it took another month. Bhaktisiddhanta Swami would come and observe the workers. A row of men had a smaller room, surrounded by stacks of printed papers. The first man would take one of the large printed sheets, rapidly fold it twice, and pass it on to the next man to perform the next operation. The pages would be folded, stitched, and collated, then put in a vise and hammered together before being trimmed on 3 sides with a handsaw and glue. Bit by bit, the book would be prepared for the final hardcover. In addition to his visit to OK Press, the bindery Bhaktisiddhanta would also occasionally travel by bus across Jamuna River to Mr. Sharan Sharma's Radha Press. The Radha Press was printing 1,000 dust jackets for the volume. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Before Bhagavatam class, just I'm doing the invocation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna to all of you, and most welcome to today's Bhagavatam class. And today we will read from the Canto 4, chapter 23 and 14. I am sharing that one. I'm reading, then you can follow me after that. Sampitthapayam parsnibhyam Vayum utsarayan sanne Nabhyam kustesha avasthapya Hrid urah kantha sirishani Sampitthapayam parsnibhyam Vayum utsarayan sanne Nabhyam kustesha avasthapya Hrid ura kantha sirishani Sampidapayam parsnibhyam Vayum utsarayan shanne Nabhyam kostheshu avasthapya Hrid ura kantha shirishani. Anyone would like to recite? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Sampidapayam parsnibhyam Vayam utsarayan chanoi Nabhyam kasteshu avastapya Rig uru kanta shirshani.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, I am also trying.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Sampidapayam parshibhyam Vayo mutsarayan chanoi Nabhyam kostesya vastatya Vidur kantha shishane. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you, Prabhu.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sampidya vayum parsnibhyam vayum ucharayam chanai nabhyam kostheshwavasthapya vidurah kantha shirshani. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Would anyone like to read the synonyms? Okay, I am reading synonyms. Sampidha by blocking, payum, the door of the anus, parsnibhyam by the curves, payum, the air which goes up, utsarayan, pushing upward, shanai, gradually, nabhyam, by the navel, kostheshu, in the heart and in the throat, abasthapya, fixing, fit in the heart, uro, upward, kantha, throat, shirsani, between the two eyebrows. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When Maharaja Prithu practiced a particular yogic sitting posture, he blocked the door of his anus with his ankles, pressed his right and left calves, and gradually raised his live ear upward, passing it onto the circle of his navel, up to his heart and throat, and finally pushed it upward to the central position between his two eyebrows. Purport would like to read anyone, and yeah, we can do it. It's a big purport, so two people can read. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sitting posture described herein is called Muktasana. In the yoga process, after following the strict regulative principle, controlling sleeping, eating, mating, one is allowed to practice the different sitting postures. The ultimate aim of yoga is to enable one to give up this body according to his own free will. One has attained the ultimate summit of yoga practice, can live in the body as long as he likes, or as long as he is not completely perfect. Leave the body to go anywhere within or outside the universe. Some yogis leave their bodies to go to the higher planetary systems and enjoy material facilities therein. However, intelligent yogis do not wish to waste their time within this material world at all. They do not care for the material facilities in the higher planetary systems, but are interested in going directly to the spiritual sky, back home, back to body. From the description in this verse, it appears that Maharaja had no desire, Prithu had no desire to promote himself to the higher planetary systems. He wanted to return home immediately, back to Godhead. Although Maharaja Prithu stopped all practices of mystic yoga after realizing Krishna consciousness, he took advantage of his previous practice and immediately placed him on the Brahmabhuta platform in order to accelerate his return to Godhead. The aim of this particular system of asana known as the sitting posture for liberation or muktasana, is to attain success in Kundalini chakra. Gradually raise the life from the Muladhara chakra to the Siddhisthana chakra, then to the Manipura chakra and Anahata chakra, the Vishuddha chakra, and finally Agna chakra. When the yogi reaches the Agna chakra between the two eyebrows, he is able to penetrate the Brahma Randra or the hole in the sky, go to any planet he desires up to the spiritual kingdom of Vaikuntha Krishnalok. The conclusion is that one has to come to the Brahmavita stage for going back to Godhead. However, those who are in Krishna consciousness or who are practicing Bhakti Yoga, Savana Kirtanam Vishnu Sharanam Padashevanam, can return to Godhead without even practicing Muktasana process. The purpose of Muktasana practice is to come to the Brahmabhuta stage, for without being on the Brahmabhuta stage, one cannot be promoted to the spiritual sky, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 14:26. Mam chayo avicharena bhakti yogena kalpate sagunan samatititan brahma bhuya kalpate. Bhakti yoga practicing Bhakti yoga is always situated on the Brahmabhuta stage. Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. If devotees is able to continue on the Brahmabhuta platform, he enters the spiritual sky automatically after death and returns to Godhead. Consequently, a devotee need not feel sorry for not being practiced in Kundalini chakra or not penetrating the 6 chakras one after another. As far as Maharaja Prithu was concerned, he had already practiced this process, and since he did not want to wait for the time when the death would occur, naturally he took advantage of the Shat chakra penetration process and thus gave up the body according to his own free will and immediately entered into spiritual sky. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's nice purport. Okay, before discussion, I would like to blessings to Guru and Guru Parampara and all Vaishnavas. Om Agyanam Timiram Dhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurum Litang Jena Tashmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavangsta Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Shajivam Sadvadhaitam Shabadhutam Purijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebho Vaishnavebho Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padayo Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Samin Iti Namini Snigdha Cheta Shukpraneta Bhagminam Charasha Plutam Prabhupada Gataprana Namami Bhakti Charu Padam Namo Vishnu Padayo Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to all devotees, and Welcome to our everyday Bhagavatam class. And I humbly seek the blessings of all assembled devotees so I can speak something for my purification and another service of the devotees. Thank you for attending this class regularly. This is that sloka. This is discussing about the yogic process. And before that, I would like to recap about the Maharaj Prithu's activity, because this is the last chapter and we are reading from his activities, his glorification from chapter 15, where he appears and coronation has done. And chapter 16, it's telling about the praise of King Prithus, and professional reciters are reciting about his glories. And chapter 17, we found that Maharaja Prithu becomes angry at the earth, and then Prithu Maharaj milking the earth planet. Then chapter 19, we found King Prithu's 100 horse sacrifices, but he did 99 horse sacrifice. And 20, Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Prithu Maharaj. And next one, 21, that instruction by Prithu Maharaj. And last chapter was Prithu Maharaj meeting with 4 Kumaraj. And this chapter is Prithu Maharaja is going back home. So he has completed his task. Now he is going to go back to Godhead. So today's discussion, we found about the yogic process and what Srila Prabhupada has told. And yesterday's discussion also found what is the discussion and what is our ultimate goal of life in Krishna consciousness, and how one has to live his body, giving many examples by Hiranyagarbha Prabhu yesterday. And we are doing so many practices like art of living, but our Hare Krishna, Krishna consciousness teaches us art of dying with Lord's name. Ante Narayan Smriti. That I like that examples of yesterday's, that how we have to pass, that those who are non-devotee, they are passing like when they are leaving their body. It's example like cat and mice, and we are cat and kitten. So today's purport, Srila Prabhupada describing how a devotee can go ahead to achieve the ultimate goal without this yogic process, yogic practice. A person can go to spiritual kingdom, means Vaikuntha, through Bhakti Yoga, and can attend spiritual planet. Without Brahmabhuta stage, no one can enter the spiritual kingdom. And process of Muktasana, what it has described here, to come to Brahmabhuta stage, it's very difficult. But we ISKCON people, we don't do, right? And what Srila Prabhupada has given to us, just feasting, dancing, and associating, we are doing same way. And also Srila Prabhupada is against of all meditation which is going on, is like to make the business. So many yoga theaters, yoga classes going on, but it's not giving any good result. And the result is giving, they would like to keep their body fit to enjoy more sense gratification. So Srila Prabhupada's one book is that Easy Journey to Other Planets. I think that you all read that book. And that book also, that summary is that one can attain the stage of perfections very easily by his individual effort. He can simply follow in his own home the prescribed method of Bhakti Yoga. It's very easy. This method under proper guidance is very simple and enjoyable, what we are all ISKCON people doing. So Srila Prabhupada explains in great detail how can attain spiritual abode simply by Bhakti Yoga. And interesting, it's know to how other yogis engages to here like Muladhara Chakra, to the Shadhishthan Chakra, then to the Manipura Chakra, to Anahata Chakra, and that Vishuddha Chakra, and finally to the Agga Chakra. All are the chakras are extremely difficult to control. And do you have any example that practicing yogi who is doing and he cannot get success, and another devotee who is doing only bhakti yoga, he can attain the perfection? Do you have any example in your mind? This comparable with this purport? No? Okay.
It is Shobhuri Muni was trying to meditate on the underwater, but he failed to do that, achieve that.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And
even
yes.
Hare Krishna, even I think Vishwamitra also, he was in the doing yoga, yogic process for a long time, and he was also unsuccessful.
Yeah, with the Manaka's dance. Yeah, thank you. Just I am giving that the comparison, that Bhakti Yoga process and that Ashtanga Yoga process. That what about the Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj? Is it the example correct? Isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. We know that Durvasana Muni knows all chakras, right? But finally he had to surrender to Sudarshan Chakra because he committed an offense to devotee. Srila Prabhupada in this purport clearly established how a devotee is the highest yogi. It's actually a direct match between both devotees, Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj. When Durvasa Muni was angry, he just released demon. But what Ambrish Maharaj done? He totally unaffected, and he totally undisturbed and surrendered and sheltered to Lord. And Sudarshan Chakra actually chasing to Durvasa Muni, and he is unable to take proper shelter. Actually, yoga practice who is doing, but who has done, actually they depend himself and unable to take proper shelter to the Lord. They think they can control themselves. So we found how Durvasa Muni, devoid any peace, traveled around 1 year. And Sudarshan Chakra was revealing here what is the position of devotee versus other transcendentalist like Durvasa Muni. Actually, Sudarshan, I can just discuss about the meaning of the Sudarshan and how it is illuminates. That where is darkness, when is darkness come, we cannot see what is what. If surrounded something in our near, we cannot see, because when we are in ignorance, nothing is clear. When there is light, we can understand distinction, differences, higher and lower, all these. And Ambrish Maharaj is just like a only grihastha, not spiritually advanced like Durvasa Muni, but highly opulent. Other hand, Durvasa Muni is yogi, free from any kind of material attachment. So one may have idea how transcendentalist, how yogic people like be. But seeing the Durvasa Muni, that people can guess how he is very advanced spiritually. But when Sudarshan Chakra chased him, then reality is revealed. Therefore, we understood his position, who is better. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada knowledge can compare to the Sudarshan Chakra. Actually, darshan means philosophy. Purports, what we are reading actually is known as darshan. Acharya's commentary are known darshans or philosophical truths revealed. It influence of illumination in light, what is good, what is bad, who is higher, who is not higher, who is advanced, who is not advanced. all principles are revealed. Hence, Bhakti Yogi gets all the benefits, the knowledge about the reality simple by the trust this philosophy called truth, which by explained by wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Actually, he is clearly established when one can establish this yoga simply by participating simple exchanges. I'll take that purport from Upadesamrita nectar of instruction. Dadati pratigrihnati kuiham akhaiti prachayati bhungte bhajayati chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. This is the 6 symptoms of loving exchanges. When one can practice bhakti yoga simply by participating in simple exchanges, one can actually practice the highest form of yoga. He did not do anything, no need to do anything like Ashtangic yoga. And then the experience get also higher. So one can think of which that Srila Prabhupada established in this purport. Actually, 3 concepts I will discuss here. The giving and receiving the holy name, and means chanting of Hare Krishna and fast. Second is coming and contact of spiritual philosophy, that is Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam and all Srila Prabhupada books. And simply by exchanging prasadam. So these 3, we are very common in our life, in our ISKCON devotees' life. This 3 first one I'm discussing now. Actually, I was hearing the lecture of Gauranga Das, and he is nicely described with these 3 points. I have taken that 3 points from him. And just by doing with these activities, one can attain higher stage, which is even very difficult for this yogi. Actually, in material life, we found means effort is much more than the spiritual effort, and destination is not the highest. But Bhakti Yoga is opposite. They get highest realization by practicing relatively more simple things. That's how we used to tell, just our movement is dancing and feasting. Very simple. And Srimad Bhagavatam tells the process is very simple, but it doesn't mean that realization is also inferior, because the material attachment and means material engagement, and materially, if we want to achieve something, we have to do very hard work to get the highest result. So much austerity, so much hard work. But Bhakti Yogi is that less effort compared to the all yogic process. So Bhakti can achieve the highest goal, and which is simpler than other yogis. That in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inundated the whole world by holy name Sankirtan. One of the verse that Kaviraj Goswami wrote in his verse that that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu influenced practically everyone except those who are touched by the Mayavadi philosophy. When he was in Prayag chanting the holy name, the whole Prayag got inundated and flooded. Whereas the 2 rivers, one is to come together, the meet is in the Sangam, that Ganga Jamuna, that could not flood in the whole city of Prayag. But these holy names, inundation created Prayag is flooded by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then Kaviraj Goswami told, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has came with the garland of the holy name, and with that garland of Harinam and love of Krishna, he tied the whole universe. So idea is how simple by holy name that one can achieve the highest destination. And we are also experiencing in our life how holy name is important, how our sadhana goes in the morning by chanting. Our round is good, so we also feel a little bit enthusiastic. I was hearing that His Holiness Bhakti Mukunda Swami Maharaj lecture that he was discussing about the holy name. And he was giving the one example about China, you know, when he went to the China and he was discussing in the closed door, and he was asking the one girl and whose mother is became devotee, but her father is not. So he was asking to that girl that why you have taken your mother's path and why you did not take your father's path, because your father is a material man, he is a non-devotee, he does not want to take that devotional life. Then she was telling, she is giving her experience. She told she experienced the transformation of her mother. Her mother was very angry. In small things, she is too very agitated. Now she is very cool and quiet, and she wants to know what is the transformation cause. And her mother told she got the nectar by the holy name. And after that, she started chanting and understood the sublime process. So then Maharaj was asking to her, so what about your father? She told, my father is hungry and he doesn't want to give up his food habits. So he did not come. But your mother, but my mother was angry, but she took this sublime process and touched by the holy name. She changed. And that Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu was discussing about that Bombay's incident, the bomb blast in 2006. Also, we have so many people has seen in the TV's that forecast was discussing about the 2006, that various local train bomb blast by the terrorist, that one devotee who is traveling in the train. He was returning, coming back from his work and want to sit one corner on the compartment of the corner, and went to the that corner, and was one person was sitting on the corner. He was asking, can I sit there? But that person told, no, you cannot sit here. I am sitting here. So he went to the other compartment and he sat down in the other compartment in the corner. And after work, he was a bit tired and he did not finish his rounds. That's why he started his rounds. And while he was trying to finish his rounds, he slept off. And suddenly he heard the bomb blast, because big noise. He could not understand actually what is the bomb blast. I mean, what is the sound coming from where? Sorry. And he wondering what is the sound. And he saw the devastation all around. Whole compartments, means 80% people are died. Others are injured. Practically, he is the only one person who is alive. Then he is thinking himself that thank God. And bead bag was there in his hand, but bead has flown. And first thing what he did, he searched for his beads. Then he found that bead is on the floor, and he took it and put it in his bags. And after that, he just get up and seeing what is going on. And he found where the place where he want to sit down, that place, the bomb was there. So actually means bomb was placed where he wants to sit. So you can imagine somehow Krishna's arrangement, Krishna arranged chastisement comes from that person. Because Krishna is sitting in the heart as a Paramatma. And that's why he is saved. And actually, this is not end of the story. His father also traveling in another train. Father also got saved. His sisters and brother also traveling another train, whose bomb were kept next to their compartment. They are also traveling. That compartment also saved. His realization that he saved through the holy name. And holy name was there, hence they all are saved, whole family. And TV interview, TV people, they called to their family, and part of interview, he discussed about the glories of holy name, which is the greater security to take the shelter of the Lord Krishna, and is secure for that spiritually and materially. And holy name is such valuable asset, which is very easy to connect, that anyone can connect and any man can take this process easily. But that TV people, they cut that part when he was discussing the glories of Lord, because they thought it's a secular country, we should not give that portion. So one example, also so many examples we heard, and I think I read some days ago, couple of weeks ago, one devotee, he was having some, from I think Russian devotee, she was having some problem, and she forgets totally about that, about her sadhana, about her chanting. And she was in pain, and sees what material people do, she was doing. But while she was doing like this, one nurse just told her, Hare Krishna. Then when she heard about the Hare Krishna, she revealed all these things, and she started chanting. And that way, she gained everything. And she was asking that, why you have told me Hare Krishna? And that nurse was Muslim. But she told, I don't know. Just seeing you, I told Hare Krishna. So see how Krishna reciprocate with holy name. Even if we don't remember, Krishna remembering us to do the holy name. So this is the amazing reciprocation. Lord always remember this and reciprocate to devotees. So one a devotee, also from Bombay, her name is Radhasukti Devi Dasi. She has taken that that a devotee became devotee on his age of 60, and she was very attached with the holy name. She used to do 32 rounds, and she got the cancer, and she could not go anywhere, but she was attached with the Vrindavan Dham. And one time, before that last maybe 1 or 2 years ago, before left her body, she told her son that all my jewelers give it to the Radharani, and she can make and you can make the jewelry for Radharani. And when she was in deathbed, one day when Radhanath Swami Maharaj came to meet with her, and some devotee gave it one remnants from Radharani's jewelry to Radhanath Swami to give it to her. So it is so, Radhanath Swami doesn't know that the story of her, that she gave it to the jewelry to the Radharani. So Radharani, how reciprocating with the prasad with her paraphernalia. And then Radhanath Swami put that jewelry on her chest, and he and she left the body on the Advaita Acharya's appearance day peacefully. So the devotees experience Lord is always remember, and power of the chanting of holy name is very powerful. And sincerely, if we chant and simply, life one destination is guaranteed. We can go to the Vaikuntha. And also, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Nam bina nahi ko aar ei chauda bhuvane. So there is nothing without the name in the 14 worlds. This first one is the holy name, how affects, and then is the next by changes by reading the book, the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, how we can connect with the philosophy. Life changes when comes with contact with Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Like Hanuman when was passing through Lanka in the night, moon is shining, sun shine is like scorching, moon shining is cooling and soothing. So Krishna's words like sunshine, they may be very difficult to access, but our Srila Prabhupada's Acharya's commentary and purport is like cooling and soothing, makes something is very accessible and illuminate. That one devotee name is Janananda Prabhu, who was doing Harinam in South Africa. When they were doing with that Harinam, one boy came and he was calling to them, just come at our place for lunch. My father is calling to all of you. So they bit surprised and they asking, and what do you mean about that? Then he is repeating again, my father is calling to take lunch at our place. So in that mind, still they are a little bit scared because it is Africa. And they went to that boy's house and they found the father is the tribal chief. And sorry. And the father, tribal chief, he gave them to sit and he told, I was looking for you so long. I have one book. I read thoroughly, but someone to explain that book. And that he showed that book, that is Bhagavad Gita as it is by Srila Prabhupada. So you can imagine, middle of the jungle of Africa, somehow he got the Bhagavad Gita and he told to devotee that you take my son and train him up with these principles and he will be very glad. And that also, that reading this book, that son, he is also chanting. And so you remember how books are so powerful, can change anyone and anywhere and no time to make a devotee. So Srila Prabhupada books is so powerful, so powerful. And also I remember, I did not just remember the name, one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, he found the Srila Prabhupada's books from the dustbin and his life changed. So of our so many devotees' life changed by reading the Srila Prabhupada books. And our Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, he read the Nectar of Devotions and he found all answers and he joined after that in the ISKCON in Mayapur. And also some sages of Noimisharanya explaining to Sutta Goswami, sitting Jagna for so long time, that they were, the Jagna is producing so much smoke and our faces become black and it's still our heart is black. So please do some Hari Katha to transform us and purify us. Then they request for Krishna Katha. Because Krishna Katha is so much purifying. That's why we are doing every day. And therefore, Srila Prabhupada established that society, that making temples for Krishna conscious movement. Temples are established for spiritual knowledge. When we speak, when we hear the Hari Katha, then purifying us. So speak with Krishna Katha, which purify us, and that by the temple of Hare Krishna temple, which is, we can tell it's a Vedic university. We can also take the example of Juhu temple, when this temple, in the beginning, that Prabhupada is not getting permission, because and then because that some issues were going on, and then Srila Prabhupada thinking they will make this place for go down, and for that book go down, no permission. They load that books there and unload, and they distribute the books by the van. And which is the essence for our movement, for spreading knowledge. And this is the powerful principles. And that's why all our brahmachari, how they are distributing the books. And holy name is going on. And Bhadra Purnima is coming on for that, distributing the Bhagavatam. Because all are that powerful principles to make a devotee, to make a bhakti yogi, who can attain the spiritual abode very easily. Then when he was discussing in that Juhu temple and someone told us with his life member, and one that big businessman came, his name is Mehta, and he was very close with Birla, and Srila Prabhupada was sitting with other members and talking to them, and he was showing that Mehta, telling that he is very big businessman. And he is helping to our movement to making the temples, but that Mehta is telling, and he's very humble, and he's telling, I am very small businessman, and you went to America only 40 rupees, and you gained 40 crores by making 108 temples. So you are the real big businessman. So then Srila Prabhupada is telling, why you don't come in our business? First join. Then Mehta is telling, I will join later, not now. But Srila Prabhupada tell, okay, then you can, help to spread out this knowledge, helping create the temple and donate for some printing the books. Also, we can see the Canto 10 that in somewhere Srimad Bhagavatam is telling, I forgot that verse, that when Krishna was in the Devaki's womb, that he appears to be like as a fire, means like a, fire covered in a pot, means we can tell it's a knowledge which is not properly distributed. Many years, like political leaders in India, like Kamsa, trying to imprison Krishna within, means they don't want to distribute that this knowledge. But Krishna just appeared to kill Kamsa. Same, we are Krishna consciousness people in 10,000 years, and Prabhupada's vision that all that Krishna consciousness people can destroy the all demonic people like Kamsa, because it is so illumination, so knowledge in this process. So then third point I'll discuss with Krishna Prasad. I have told, I was asking so many devotees how we have come in this path. Someone told, oh, by the Prasad. So many people, so many devotees, they used to share their experience, how they came as a devotee by taking the ISKCON's Prasad. So actually this Prasad, we can tell as a receipt when we are giving someone money. So we get the receipt, right? And it's a proof that we have given money. So someone is coming to the Krishna conscious program, that receipt is Prasad. That way in Bhagavad means Gita, Krishna says that any jagna without prasad not considered to be complete. Jagna will not complete, because that's why Srila Prabhupada established this principle, prasad distribution, to purify for this. That Braja Vihari Prabhu, he was distributing the book in Florida. They were van and slept in the van. And suddenly in the midnight, they are surrounded by police car, and they attacked, and a police car, the headlight on, and on their hands, and police is telling the speaker, you are surrounded by the police van and come out. So they are bewildered, they are sleeping with gamcha, and they came out and nothing to check, but police went there and they checked, they did not get anything. But chief of the police, when he is searching, he found Bhagavad Gita, and he's turning around and he's telling, oh, Jai Srila Prabhupada. And they wonder, the devotees. And then he is telling, when he used to studying in the University of Florida, he was not money to paying for the college education, and he was not money to buy the food. He used to take the prasadam. And that sometimes he associated with someone, with the devotee sometimes. And because he's telling today, he has got the message, someone broke the gun store and stole some guns, and descriptions of your van is similar. So that's why we are searching that. So we are, means they are forgiving to the devotees. They are telling, just forgive us, but how can I help? So then devotee told, we cannot sold the book, so you can help them to sell them off. So when chief told to everyone, please can you buy the books, those who have money with you? So its command came from the chief, so they buy the books, and that way they sold the books with few $100s. So all this happens, all these things, so prasadam, and that holy name, and that philosophy, how purifying and how effect will happen, which is very difficult to understand and when it can happen. So even Steve Jobs, the chairman of the Apple, he used to take prasadam in daily basis. That also Bhakti Mukunda Swami is giving his own example, Before Krishna consciousness, he was having only 45 kg, and his mother used to cook fish and rice every day. Then his mother was asking, now you have gained 90 kg, how it is possible? And you are also not taking onion garlic. So then Maharaj is joking that he told, oh, it's a Krishna Prasad I am taking and it's very tasty. That's why I'm gaining weight day by day. So this is a so sublime process and easy process. We can so many examples in around with us. I can just finish with that give example. Just like aeroplane goes to runway and maybe appear to be restricted path, but unless the plane moves on the restricted path, it cannot take off. If the runway is not there and plane is just moving here and there on the ground, cannot gather sufficient speed to take off. Similarly, regulation and the restrictions appear to be strict, but it is good. Because when one lead a life runway of dharma, then one can actually elevates his consciousness, can go the spiritual world. Just like pilot is tasked by air control, traffic, same way we are based on some restriction to follow the dharma, otherwise cannot go to the spiritual world. So that's why human life is built based on certain restrictions. Our 4 regulative principles, we have to do 16 rounds and hearing from the pure devotees to elevate our consciousness. That's we found also how Durvasa Muni, all chakras is failed in front of the Sudarshan chakra. Same way, Srila Prabhupada was clearly telling how bhakti is important and superior from all yoga. And bhakti yogi can elevate it easily to spiritual sky. So based on restrictions, one can elevate easily. So Srila Prabhupada clearly established bhakti yoga, which is superior in this age of Kali. So we have to live with Krishna and live with Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for listening this yoga system, Bhakti Yoga. If you have any questions and realization, you can share, and you can tell also how you became devotee.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
You're explaining the whole text in such wonderful examples and very, very fresh examples, which you can match with your daily life. This Bombay blast and this Steve Jobs and then Florida example and this Maharaja Ambarish and Durvasa Muni. So all these examples are clearly explaining how important is Bhakti Yoga over other processes of yogas. Very, very important to understand. That's why Prabhupada is clearly explaining. Don't go for such a strong, long and difficult process, but follow a very simple process of Bhakti Yoga in connecting to the devotional service of Krishna. Everything will be all right. And you can easily attain the supreme goal of life, which is back home, back to Godhead, with this process. So it's very easy to understand, but there are some rules and regulations. In every part of our life, there is always rule. You cannot break the rule as your own. So you need to follow, even if you work in office also, there are some rules and regulations that you need to follow to perfect your work daily. Similarly, in any organization or any this movement, there is some rules. So following rules and make your progress, that is what Srila Prabhupada is telling us. And as you explained from the text 4 of Nectar of Instruction, how this is so important and related to this text, you explained so nicely. One verse I just remember from Bhagavad Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1, 7-7. Yashambhoi Sriyamanayam Krishne Paramam Purushe Bhakti Utpadate Pumsha Shoka Moha Bhaya Apa. So by simply giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling for loving devotional service to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts out at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So once you get connected, everything will be away from you. And that example in the Bombay train blast is a very, very clear example of that. How this devotee was saved along with all family members. That's a clear indication. Only you have to depend on Krishna, and rest everything will be done by Krishna himself. That's why live in Krishna, live in Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for your realization. True. So if any other realization or comment is not there, we can finish our session here. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhyo eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Brinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.